So, this Stephen A. Smith thing with the LeBron James, I see both sides, obviously. Stephen A. having to report and do his due diligence on LeBron James. However, LeBron James needs to understand one thing. He lobbied for his son to be with the team that he's playing, whether it was the Lakers or anyone else. It's not like he kept it a secret. It's well known. Everybody knows it. Lakers did what he wanted them to do. They drafted him. He hyped up his son, man. He hyped him up like he was the next coming of Michael Jordan or even LeBron James himself. Time has proven he's not that guy. He's not. He's a good player. I mean, he's all right. He's average. He's not great. He's average. I mean, in the G League, maybe he's better than most, but in the NBA, not so much. Connect has done a lot better, and he was a first-round draft pick. But at the end of the day, he is a basketball player. Stephen A. is a sportscaster, so he's gonna call him out if he's not scoring, if he's not performing well in the NBA. I mean, should somebody else be in that position? And what is he scoring, like 2-3 points a game, and most of it is in garbage time? I mean, can we bring in somebody in that's gonna probably score like 10 points?
His statistics are fucking atrocious. That's for sure. In the actual league, his G League stats are pretty great. It's like what Stephen A has been saying this whole time. If you watched him at all, he's been saying he belongs in the G League. And yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Go ahead, keep going.
As a father, I do completely understand LeBron trying to defend his son, but he's not a child. He's 19 now. He's trying to make a name for himself. How is he going to make a name for himself when daddy's coming up and saying, "Hey, don't talk about my son. Like, keep Bronny's name out of your damn mouth." And we know where you get that from.
All right, Will Smith. I am legend.
No, it's seriously like, come on, LeBron. Like, you're not helping his case. Instead, you're making it. You're giving Stephen A. ammo. To be honest with you, like,
Content.
He needs you. Without you, Bronny James is no one at this point. I mean, what do you think?
I only had two things to really say about this. Number one, man to man, the whole confrontation, I'm good with that. If LeBron wants to say shit to Stephen A., that's fine. Only reason they were talking about it is because it got recorded and it went viral, okay? And the way Stephen A. was talking on both First Take and on his YouTube channel, I know he's embarrassed. He got, I don't want to say bitched, but like at least the internet's looking at it that way, that he kind of like LeBron came up to him and kind of talked to him all aggressively and Stephen A. just folded. That's what the internet's going to talk. We know that. But that's fine. Anyone can say anything to anybody. That's fine. Now, is he in the right? That depends on how you look at it and how big a LeBron fan you are. We know how people love LeBron James. All the memes that go crazy. They're funny on TikTok.
But the only thing I'm going to say, it's just kind of something that you said that kind of triggered this.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. has been talking about Bronny throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing has been said until now.
Right.
Why now? Maybe because the Lakers are in, second, third place right now?
Mm-hmm.
Versus they were in like 7th, 8th. So they're winning. Right. So now he's, he wants to come out and like, hey, don't talk about my son. We're doing great with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, was it him or was it Luka? I mean, we didn't think Luka was going to be that big of an effect, but apparently he is. But I think he's only doing it because, they're winning. But you know what? Again, he needs to stand on his own 2 feet. And like kids say nowadays, he needs to stand on business on his own.
Right. No, it's tough. It's tough because I think both men are in the right. One is right to come in and address the other. You got a problem with him? Hey, say so, right? And as for Stephen A., he obviously has a right to respond. We just saw the video with K-Love's tweet in it, how he came out and said you didn't want to have to address it. I honestly don't think he wanted to. I think he looked very much embarrassed to me, very much embarrassed that it happened on, obviously, during the Laker game and he came up. And there's even another moment that they had on NBA Countdown. They had a ABC game. LeBron comes up to the media and the other three, Kendrick Perkins, Malika Andrews, and Bob Myers. Comes up, daps them all up, looks them all, everyone's all looking happy at him and shit. How's LeBron? And then he does dap up Stephen A. They both don't even look at each other. There's no eye contact. So there's definitely a problem there. I can tell. And Stephen A knows the territory. At this point, you've been in the fucking business for God knows how long. You know what it is. When you're talking about these athletes, a lot of them aren't going to fuck with what you have to say, especially when you're being critical. And people are getting soft. These athletes are getting fucking soft because, like, you'll take all the praise. That's fine. Oh, you're talking all this good stuff about me. You're praising me, my glorious king, my sunshine. That's all good and dandy. But when it comes to criticizing you and kind of calling you out when you play like shit or when you rest, we're going to talk about that. Maybe not today. We're going to talk about this rest shit. We've already done it. We already have a segment on it, but we're going to talk about it again. But when you rest and you miss time and you act childish and dumb and your fans hold you accountable, it's like the clip he had when he's talking about how would anybody want to be the face of the league when it comes with all this criticism, and it's like, because of your face of the league you have $1 billion, LeBron James. Let's not forget that, okay? It comes with its perks to being the face of the league. All those endorsements from Nike and shit. It all came with a price, okay?
And you get to play with your son.
the first father son duo, right?
In basketball.
That's all valid. We might be getting into a different conversation here, but these fucking contracts are fat, man. They're fat. You're getting paid millions of dollars, and fucking half the league is on the IR half the time. I mean, playing fantasy basketball, how annoying it's been. The teams that tank rest their guys. The Utah Jazz, oh my God, the Utah Jazz, real quick, the Utah Jazz need to be investigated for fraud, bro, because they rest healthy players. Walker Kessler should not be resting, okay, on back-to-backs. He's a sophomore, man, a sophomore in the league, and this man is resting back-to-backs. I know because I have him in fantasy, but this man has no business being rested, and yet he's being rested. Like, what? Like, they're doing it to John Collins, Lauri Markkanen. I know most of the time is actually injured, but he's rest. Like, they rest their starters all the time. There's this taking shit that needs to be addressed by the league, because I don't turn on these bullshit games anymore. These bottom feeder gangs. Who was it the other day? Sixers versus the Jazz, man. I ain't turning that shit on. They're tanking. They're both trying to lose the game. It's like, it's a competition to see who's gonna lose. Like, please, no, I'm not trying to watch that shit. Okay, so these players are all getting paid max contracts. It comes with this territory. You're going to be criticized. You're getting paid for it. Okay, and half of y'all don't even fucking play anymore. Like, I don't even know who's playing anymore. Like, the other day, the Denver versus the Thunder. Okay, that was a great game. It was on ABC. I don't think you probably didn't watch it, but like, it was a great game, back and forth. That's fucking ball, man. I want to see, both teams wanted to win. They came out, 2 MVP candidates in Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they both pull up and they fucking ball out, man. They fucking ball out. And it was great basketball. They both play defense. They both have good offenses, great coaching on both sides. That's fucking ball, man. And that's what we need to see more of. And
I agree.
This is what I'm saying. It's what I'm getting at. These players are soft. They don't want to be criticized. You only want the praise. And it wasn't like this back then. It kind of ties into the theory, and you can chime in here. Back in the 90s, I sound like an old head. I know. The group chat gonna get me. But here's what I'm getting at. Shit was not guaranteed. These contracts were not around. They weren't getting paid these fucking millions of dollars. These sponsorships, not every fucking rookie wasn't coming into the league and getting these shoe deals and shit like that. No, everything had to be earned. These fools were out there, and call them janitors, call them plumbers, I don't care. But they would come into the league and they'd have to earn every fucking minute. They earn every dollar on the court, okay? And it counted way more. And I think all the old heads say this, all the 90s old heads. I think Jordan might have said it himself. I forget who. But they all come out and say it. Like, back then, man, you didn't cap these fucking $50 million contracts, $20 million, whatever the fuck it is. And these guys are getting them automatically. Like, as a rookie, you're coming into the league, and the rookie deals are fat, okay? And then the extensions are fat. And it's all being handed to you. And like, they're not earning it. And so when you're being handed fucking millions of dollars, Paul George, Joel Embiid, when you're being handed these millions of dollars and being a full-time podcaster, or being injured and missing fucking, he played 19 games. Joel Embiid played 19 fucking games. Okay? When you're being handed all this fucking money, why in the fuck would you care about playing? And like, Joel's a little different. Okay? I know his health, like, I feel bad for him sometimes because he tries to play. I know he wants to play. I know he wants to win. But bro, you don't fucking play. I'm sorry. You don't fucking play. All right. And Paul George, oh my God. I'm glad he got booed in Philly at WWE. I don't know you probably didn't hear about that, but the man got booed in WWE in Philadelphia. His own city fucking booed him for showing up. And I know why. It's because what the fuck are you doing at a WWE show when you should be fucking rehabbing? You should be doing something. I don't know, bro. Fool's missing time right now. He's out. I know, again, because I have this player on my fantasy team. So he's missing time again. All right. And it's annoying, man. And I know we're supposed to be talking about LeBron and stuff, but I think this is important to talk about because
Absolutely.
these people are being paid. These guys are being paid millions of dollars, and there's a reason why viewership is down. We're supposed to talk about this too, but we just been so busy. But viewership is down, and now LeBron wants to come out and talk about who would want to be the face of the league when you're being criticized. Your son is being criticized. Your son is getting that fucking guaranteed money. Okay, he is valid to being criticized, and we talked about it on pre-podcast and when I showed you the tweets and the clips. He's over here talking about fucking like in tweets before talking about Bronny's better than all these players. Bronny is could play on Lakers right now. No, he can't because we've seen his stats. In garbage time, he can't put up stats. We've seen the bricks. All right. So go ahead and chime in because I've been on a rant for too long. But I just think like LeBron, Stephen A. has every single right to criticize him, and Stephen A. is one of the only people who actually come out and criticize LeBron James. There are so many LeBron James sympathizers on ESPN that it's actually kind of, and Fox Sports for that matter, but there's so many people that, give him his praise all the time. And Stephen A is one of the only ones that comes out and says, no, hey, you need to be better. You're not doing enough. This is your fault, blah, blah, blah. Like holding him accountable. So go ahead, Silos. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on that real quick.
No, and just kind of to finalize it, like you know me, and I don't think LeBron is the GOAT like a lot of people, but I have vocally told you as a family man, he's fucking phenomenal. That's why, him sending up for his son is one thing, but again, his son is a public figure now. Like, step back, let him stand on his own 2 feet, and this is why one of the biggest reasons, like people my age, a lot older than you, say that the league has gone soft. You get a little hand slap, oh, it's a foul. Back then, they used to slap your hand all the time, and there was no foul call. Like, just go on with the play, continue
Mm-hmm.
on. Like
No, yeah.
it's a soft league now. Nobody wants to watch it. Everybody gets what they want. They get their millions of dollars. You know, they get the foul calls just because they flop. Because there's more flopping now. I mean, granted, there was flopping back in the days, but nowadays it's like every other fucking play. Everybody wants a flop, and I've said this, and I've been vocal about this. LeBron James is one of the biggest floppers out there. But again, he gets what he wants. He doesn't want to be the face, but yet he wants to be the one that vocalizes about, I want to play with my son. I want to do this. I want to do that. He gets every fucking shit he wants. So stop bitching, stop complaining that you're the face because you get what you want and you have the lifestyle that you want. You got to play with your son. Like, if Stephen A is going to complain, talk shit about your son, make sure you have some good, backup for that. Like, hey, my son's in the NBA, and he's only playing, let's say, 20 minutes, scoring 10 points. Nah, that motherfucker ain't even scoring 10 points. I mean, and this is garbage time we're talking about. Garbage time, a lot of times it's like, fuck, there's really no defense. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as it is, sometimes there's no defense, but I mean, just score. I mean, he has no basis to protect his son when it comes to being criticized for his basketball skills. No basis. So he needs to
Mm-hmm.
move on and just let Stephen A. and you know what? He should go to his son and get better. Get
Right.
better.
So I think ultimately we agree on the idea that LeBron has every right, man to man, father,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Stephen A. I think as a father to come up and approach him, but whether or not he's actually right in the sense of like the criticism that Stephen A. is it true? He's not right in that sense. Like, no, Stephen A. is talking facts when
Yeah,
he's saying these things.
absolutely.
So I think in the end,
I honestly think
it's
LeBron
okay
just
for it's okay for him to go up and confront him, but he's kind of tripping. He's kind of tripping in
he should have
terms of
done that shit
like,
in private. To be honest with you, he should have done that shit in
no, for
private.
sure,
He knew he was gonna get recorded, and he knew people were gonna ask.
right.
So, but he should have just done
It,
it in private. Like,
it
hey, like I have a problem with you
mhm.
speaking about this. They might be facts, but just don't talk about my son like that. But
Yeah,
again, his son's 19. He should just stand on his own 2 feet and let him
I
figure it out.
I think he wanted it to be recorded and publicized like
I
that for
think so too.
sure. Yeah, because you could have easily responded to a message or called him or had a phone call. I think Stephen A. said he would have flown out for it. So 100% he wanted it done like this way. You know,
Yeah.
there are people from both sides because LeBron has as many haters as he does supporters. So we'll see. We'll see how things proceed. But Stephen A. knows he's in the media. He knows what it is. Some players aren't gonna fuck with him, and I don't think he's ever been on like glowing terms with LeBron. Anyways, I don't remember LeBron ever coming on a show or anything like that. Or I mean, Stephen A. criticizes him plenty. So
Honestly,
we can move
Stephen
on.
A's criticized anyone. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he don't give a shit. He's been doing this for a long time. At this point, he's low key just as big as the game at some with the way people watch First Take. Sometimes I feel more than they do fucking the game. So, but anyways, we can move on. We're gonna move on into we said top. Let's go with the top five NBA contenders list. So it's gonna be mine. This is Donny Millones right here. A top five list. I didn't create a slideshow like my man Silos did. I didn't have the time, but I know who's one. I know who's one. But we'll start at five. Let's start at five. Okay, so number five. You're gonna like this one. Number five, with the way they've been playing recently, I'm going with the Los Angeles Lakers. I know the group chat is gonna give me shit for it, considering I've been a doubter for a long, long time. As far as this roster goes, I'm a Lakers fan. Let's get that out the way. But I do think I said we didn't get any better with the Luka trade, but because we lost defense, but we got offense back. But I honestly underestimated how big an impact having a ball dominant wing is. It's so important in today's game. Look at the Celtics. They have like a big, when I say ball dominant wing, it also applies to a big because you look at Nikola Jokic and how dominant he is. He takes over the game. Having such a big size guy, big guy, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, both ball dominant wings. That's why the Celtics are so good. And obviously they have a supporting cast, but I think it's so important to have a ball dominant wing. And LeBron James is not that guy anymore. And I don't care how many times I hear he's 40, he's doing all these things at 40 years old. The stats are cute, man, but there are so many people in this league that put up not exactly his stats, but they put up 25 a game with 10 assists, 5 rebounds, whatever it is. It's not that hard with the pace of the game to put up those numbers anymore. But my problem has always been that LeBron can't do both sides of the ball anymore, and the media never calls it out. Okay, now I'm sounding like a LeBron hater. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying he can't be that number one wing anymore. And adding Luka Doncic to the team allows LeBron to be more of a rim runner. I've seen it multiple times where LeBron's out there running because he knows Luka can bring the ball up and find him, and he's being more of a off ball option now, which is really what he should be. We've been kind of saying he needs to be more of his whole career. Like when he was with Dwayne Wade and Kyrie, he was able to do more athletic off ball rim running type of stuff, and I think it lets him actually play better on defense because that shoulder. Because when we had AD's like, yeah, he's not someone that can really like take someone off the dribble or run the pick and roll. Like, yeah, he can do it, but it's not where he excels, right?
Correct.
I think given that, I think the Lakers, with all the wings they have, Vando, a DFS, even like some of the guards that they're not shabby defenders, right? It allows LeBron to actually try on defense because he don't have to bring the ball up every single time because he hasn't been the most efficient player. Obviously, I think his efficiency has gone up with Luka, but yeah, I'm going Lakers at 5. I think the defense is looking a lot better than I would have thought it would have.
Yes.
Especially with the schemes that JJ is running, I like it. So I'm going Lakers at 5. I know that was kind of a big explanation. I think it's one of the most controversial ones. That's why I had to feel like I had to explain it a little better. At number 4. I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this one is also going to be controversial that they're at 4, considering they have the best record in the league. But I say 4 just because they're still unproven. Last year, they got knocked out by the Celtics in the second round, and pretty badly, by the way, I might add. They lost in 5 games. I know Donovan Mitchell missed time, but I'm sorry, but I'm not a big fan of small guards, and Donovan Mitchell is only 6'2", being like the number one option, which Donovan Mitchell is. I just don't see that as a recipe for success. I always think of Chris Paul's Clippers when I think of that, and I can't think of many instances, even in the last 5 finals, Celtics. And I know Steph Curry is an exception, but Steph Curry is Steph Curry. All right, that's generational. All right, I just don't think Donovan Mitchell. I don't think Donovan Mitchell as the first option can get over the hump. Now I know they have all these impressive wins this year. Okay, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Bucks, they beat. I think they've even beat like they might have beat the Thunder. They have a lot of impressive wins. I know Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and Darius Garland has taken a big step this year, and the bench is fucking deep. I understand all those things, but because don't have the playoff success yet, and again, I doubt Donovan Mitchell as the first option. I still have them at 4 below the other 3 teams, which I'll get to right now. At number 3, yeah, I have the Denver Nuggets at 3. The Denver Nuggets. I have the Denver Nuggets at 3, and that's even though I don't think this supporting cast has been that good this year for the Denver Nuggets. I know Aaron Gordon has missed time. MPJ has been a little bit streaky. Jamal Murray has been very, very pedestrian this year. I mean, recently I think he's doing better, but I just think when you have the best player in the world, it's going to give you a shot every single fucking time. So I go Denver Nuggets at 3, and that's really because of Nikola Jokic. I think Mike Malone is a great coach. So I still think they're 3rd, especially after seeing them play the Thunder the way they did this last Sunday. I like what I saw. And even though teams are starting to kind of figure out a defense for Nikola Jokic, I still think Nicole's going to figure it out, man. He's that guy. So he's going to figure it out.
I think he'll adapt.
He'll adapt. And when he does, you're going to have to adapt. So it's kind of how it goes. When you find it's like Giannis with the wall. You know, they built the wall. Especially, I know the Raptors kind of made the wall very popular when they were playing the Bucks back in 2019. Giannis adapted because they won that 2021 chip. So he adapted. He kind of was able to break it. So same thing's gonna happen here with the Nuggets, but I don't think the Nuggets are better than the next 2 teams. Number 2, and the only reason they're number 2 is because again they have not knocked off the number 1. So number 2, I go OKC, and I'm tired of hearing people saying OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5, right? As Shannon Sharp likes to say. I don't do that. I'm a Lakers fan, and I don't knock the Thunder this way. I don't care how young they are. I don't care that they got knocked out by a game winner last year against the Mavericks. Luka's not even on the Mavericks anymore. But the point is, that Thunder defense is elite. It's number one. It's number one in this game. And when you're that good on defense, you're going to always have a chance to win the game, okay? Because I've seen the Thunder shoot like shit, like dog shit from 3-point range. And they're still in the game. So when you're that good defensively, you will always have a shot to win the game. And when you have one of the I don't think he should win MVP, but he probably will. I think Nikola Jokic is the MVP yet again. But people are just getting tired of this man winning the MVP. That's what it is. It's MVP fatigue. But I do think Jokic is the MVP. But Shea is probably going to win it just because they're tired of giving away MVPs to Jokic. But when you have someone like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander who is so great at getting to the rim, and people criticize him for getting fouled, and it's like, bro, like you say you're tired of watching threes, but you have this great driver to the rim, getting to the rim, he's getting fouled. Now you want to complain about the foul calls. It's like, pick a side, bro. Do you want him to drive to the rim, or do you want him to just sit outside and shoot threes? Like, come on now. And he's not even getting fouled like Harden was. Harden was getting bullshit calls from the 3-point line. Like with those fucking, how was he doing it? Like, he would stick his legs out all the time. And he would always just try to draw stupid fouls. Like, come on, can we pick a side? Like, stars get calls, all right? It is what it is. But, when you have SGA, when you have all the defense that go from wing to big, you got Lou Dort, you got Chet Holmgren, you got Isaiah Hartenstein, you got Jalen Williams. I really should have mentioned him first. Jalen Williams is a great two-way player. I like what he brings to the table. And then you go to the fucking bench, and they're so fucking deep. I don't care that they're young, okay? I think this year they have figured it out, and like I said, defense wins championships. And I think the only reason I don't have them 1 is just because, and you're not gonna like this one, obviously, the only team left is the Boston Celtics. Yes, revoke my Laker card. That's fine. I'm good with that. But I'm going Boston Celtics at number 1 because number 1, they're the champions, the reigning champions. I think that's fair. Even your hating ass can't get at me for that. They are the champions, and they are one of the few teams in this league that I would say have a justifiable case at shooting the 3-ball the way they do. Everyone complains about the 3-ball and how it's being spammed. Well, the Celtics are one of the teams that can actually do it, okay? Because they shoot at such an efficient rate. So I think given the fact that they have championship experience, they've been doing this for years. The coach is great, even though he's a little corny. I give Joe Mazzulla shit all the time for being such a cornball, trying to act so hard all the time. But I give the Celtics the edge. Top down, the defense, the role players, people know what they're doing on that team. There is no like contention as to far as no egos trying to over insert themselves. Everyone knows what to do. Derek White, Drew Holiday, of course. I love Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday to me is in the league in terms of what he can do and knowing that, hey, I'm here for this. I'm doing this. I know my role. Even though I think Drew can I mean, realistically, he was technically number 3 on that Bucks team that won the chip. But Drew Holiday is to this day underrated. So the fact is that they are one of the only teams in the league that can justify shooting the 3 ball at the rate that they do because they make it. So we don't have a problem watching threes being made or taken as long as you actually can make them at the rate that you're shooting them, right? The problem is when we start seeing these teams jack up threes and shoot 25%, right? That's not good enough, and it doesn't make for appealing basketball. But the Celtics are one of the few teams in the league that can actually justify it, and they also play defense. So I think that brand of basketball is a recipe for winning. And given their championship pedigree, the experience, the coaching, despite Joe Mazzulla being the biggest cornball there is in sports, sometimes the fool just always tries to act so hard. I just think he is, the guy in terms of coaching. Maybe not number one coach, but he's done it. So I just give Joe Mazzulla, the Celtics, the whole core. I give him number 1 spot, man. I do. Even though I do think the Thunder, in my opinion, are better, I still give them their number 1 team. Because they haven't really fallen off enough for me to say that they're not the first. Both JT and JB are having a great seasons. And I just think they're still the best, man. You have to be able to knock them out. And I know the Thunder have actually beat the Celtics, I think. But I still think they're the number 1 team. And it actually hurts me to say that because I don't like the Celtics at all. I fucking hate them. We're Lakers fans, so fuck them. But I still give them the edge, man. After what I saw them do to the Mavericks last year, and not just the Mavericks, they dismantled every team. And as much as I call it I call it a Mickey Mouse run all the time. You know that I call it because they had easy opponents in the East, and then they dealt with a hampered Luka Doncic, who is no longer on the Mavericks, as we know. He's on Lakers. But yeah, I give the Celtics the 1 spot. So go ahead, give me your thoughts, sir. So let me run it back for you. Number 5, I got the Lakers.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? You wrote it down?
I wrote it down. Sure, I wrote
all right,
it down,
all right.
So I knew how to respond.
Let me throw it back for the people, the listeners and the viewers. Number 5, I got the Lakers. Number 4, I got
Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers, right? Cavs at 4, Nuggets at 3. I got the Thunder at 2, and I got the Celtics at 1. So go ahead, give me your thoughts, your reactions to that.
So OKC Thunder at number 2, I actually like because we spoke on this sometime last year. That they were young. They were when they got knocked out. They were young. But the next year or two, they were gonna find their footing, and it looks like they're finding the footing sooner than later. I like them at the number 2. The only thing that I think I would change, and you guys can say it's because I'm a Laker fan, is I would swap the Cavaliers. And no, actually, it would be more than that because I would put the Cavaliers at number 1, Celtics at 3, and Nuggets at 4. I get it. They're the Boston Celtics. They won the championship last year, and they're doing pretty good. But right now, the Cavaliers they're just sometimes unstoppable. Now, granted, we're gonna have to wait and see if that translates into the postseason because that's where, in the playoffs, that's where it really fucking matters. Like you can dominate all you want, you can win all the games in the world you want, but then at the end of the day, the one that counts is the last game. So, I mean, granted, we've seen the Golden State Warriors win 72 games, 73 games.
73. They won
73 games. I lost only 9 to top off the 72-10 Bulls, but they didn't get it finished. They didn't finish the story. They ended up losing, and maybe that happens to Cavaliers. Now, granted, I'm just going based on the win-loss percentage, but overall, as far as team-wise goes, then I would agree with you that they do currently belong in first. But, you can't discount what the Cavaliers have done so far this year. And then, the Denver Nuggets, I mean, they got as you know, they got the best player in the league, the first 30-20-20 player in the history of basketball, like never
Yes,
been
sir.
done.
Yes, sir.
And he's gonna be in the record books. He's gonna be in the history books. But realistically speaking, I think just looking at these could be our final four. I know the Lakers are doing pretty good. They've improved defensively since they picked up Luka. They're in the top three in defense because I think they
Hmm.
may have dropped to second after a couple losses. But can they really pull off an edge on the Celtics, the Thunder? I don't.
We just got spanked. We just got spanked by the Celtics. So
No, I know.
there's
I,
that.
I mean, granted, they were beating us by a lot and end up, making a
We came back.
comeback.
Yeah.
And
Right.
but I mean, that just goes to show that they can compete, but in a 7 game series, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. So it's either gonna be Boston repeating, or honestly, maybe KC bring. I think finally pulls it off.
Did you say Casey?
Uh, OKC.
You're thinking about Patrick Mahomes
No,
again.
I ain't nobody thinking about Patrick Mahomes. Damn Kermit the Frog.
But trust me, everybody's thinking about Patrick Mahomes. They're wondering if he's depressed right now. We'll get into that in a minute because we still got to talk about that. Anyways, so you yeah, no, I 100%. Let me address the Lakers thing. My thing is, and I've been saying this since the trade. It's probably never been happened that a superstar. I mean, first of all, the trade is unprecedented. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's never to me, if I recall, it's very rare that a superstar gets traded to a team and that team goes on to win in that same year. The only one I can think of in recent history was the Kawhi Leonard trade, but that trade happened in the offseason when Kawhi got traded for DeMar, or the other way
Yeah.
around, DeMar got traded for Kawhi, and they went on to win, but that happened in the offseason. So Kawhi had a full training camp, got adjusted. We're seeing Luka having to go through the adjustment mid-season, like not even mid-season, we're already almost into April. So I just think it's tough. It's tough to insert get that shit going, and I like
Yeah.
that we're actually vibing, we're gelling, but I'm very skeptical about the Lakers for that reason. Maybe not this year, but next. But like I said, I do think you're right about the Final Four. We got Cavs, Celtics on one side. We got the Thunder, Nuggets on the other. I think that's very realistic. I don't see anybody else out west actually making a run. I'm not a believer in the Grizzlies. Never have been. I'm not this year. The Suns have been abysmal, very barely in the playoff race. The Warriors are a sleeper team that I think I've always been a Jimmy Butler fan. I like Jimmy's game. I like what he brings to the table. I think all that drama shit that people talk about is overrated as fuck, truthfully. But I just think that it's the same thing. They traded midseason for a star because Jimmy's still a star. People were talking about the Warriors getting fleeced, and I was like, fuck no. The Warriors made out with a good trade. You had to give something up for them. And it shows in the results. The Heat have been doing great. Maybe not in the last. I haven't checked the record in a minute. I don't watch Warriors games every day. But I'm a believer in Jimmy Butler, and I like the pairing with Steph. I think Jimmy does things that Steph doesn't do, and Steph vice versa. And Jimmy's a great defender, all those things. So I do think the Warriors, if anything, are my sleeper team as far as who can make the West Finals. The Warriors can make a run, low key. I do think that, but I do think it's going to be Denver, OKC in the West Finals. We're gonna get another showdown, which I love. I love watching the Denver play the OKC. So yeah, man, I do think that those could be the final four teams. And it seems like you just had a problem with my order, which is fine. But yeah, I don't think the Knicks are there. They actually added Cat. Somehow got worse defensively and better offensively. I mean, I'm not shocked because Cat is not the best defender, but he obviously puts up points. I just don't believe in Cat as a playoff performer. I saw what he did last year. Not believer in that. The Bucks are definitely a team that will always be in contention for the finals in the East, but I don't know, man. I might get called Damian Lillard hater, but they were better with Drew Holiday, man. Truthfully, and then they gave up Chris Middleton. I don't believe in guards that just, and again, Steph Curry gets, because people are going to be like, oh, well, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's the exception. But Damian Lillard, I just think is a glorified scorer, man. Like, he's a great scorer, don't get me wrong, but I just don't believe in him as a defender. And he gets exposed on defense routinely. Steph is at least a great off-ball defender, and he tries. At least he fucking tries. Sometimes I don't know. I question Damian Lillard's effort on defense, man. I do. But Yeah, I honestly think they were better off with Drew and Chris. And I know Chris got traded to the Wizards. He got sent to purgatory, but it's crazy, right? You give your all and you win a championship for your city, and then you get traded to fucking Washington of all places. It's pretty fucking sad. But I think ultimately, as long as you have Giannis, you're gonna have a shot, right? It's the same thing I've been saying with Nikola Jokic. When you have a 7 footer that can handle the ball, distribute the ball, score the ball, defend like Giannis, you're always gonna have a shot at the finals. Okay, I haven't been impressed with the Bucks this season, and they added Darvin Ham, so they salute is gonna be their downfall at the end of the day. So yeah, that if you have any thoughts, you can tell me now,
No,
speak,
I
or
think I've
forever hold
spoken
your
my piece.
peace type shit. Okay,
I think we're good with that.
we can get into lists. I know we're kind of running a little late, but like I said, I'm gonna cut a lot. But we can get into lists as far as the top 5 QBs. So let me go first. Just because I think we can knock this out really fast and we can debate. Number 5, I'm going Lamar Jackson. That might piss you off because I know you ranked him number 1 last year or before. I mean, before the season started. I'm going number 5 at Lamar. All right, he got bounced in the semis for the divisional. Right, to me that's the semis, the conference semis. Same thing. I'm thinking basketball. We just switched, but Lamar Jackson's number 5, and he had a great year, great regular season, but he failed to get it done against Josh Allen. So obviously, I'm gonna have Josh Allen above Lamar. And with the other 4 QBs I have, they all perform better than him in the playoffs. So by default, Lamar's number 5. That's very simple to me. Number 4, I'm going Jalen Hurts. Now, this one might also piss you off because I know you're a big Hurts guy. I like Hurts. I always have. Never been a hater. Never called him a running QB or whatever. I think he's a good QB, but and he got a Super Bowl. He did. That shows. But I don't knock him for having Saquon Barkley. I just think he had to do less, significantly less. As someone who had to watch his Rams get demolished by the Saquon Barkley Eagles, I definitely put Hurts at 4. And some things are true as far as him being more of a game manager sometimes and having a stout offense. Does he game manage sometimes? Of course. Does he get the job done? Yes. And having him at 4 to me is not an insult. I just have the other 3 better. All right. Number 3, I'm going with my QB. I'm going Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford to me is number 3. Yes, he is. Matt Stafford was 1 TD away from beating the Super Bowl champions this year. I don't care that he's 36, gonna be 37 or some shit. I'm going number 3 at Stafford. We both ranked him number 2 before the season, and he actually outperformed what I expected. Okay. For 8 weeks, the man had Puka and Cup down and half the O-line, and even our starting tight end was out. Okay, so he was really dealing with a lot of injuries on offense, more so than any other team in the league, and that includes the Niners. Niners fans aren't going to like that, but he did. And what he was able to do in the second half of the season to bring us, not only make me right as far as winning the the NFC West, he made me right about that. He, again, was 1 TD away from beating the Super Bowl champions. And if it weren't for some stupid-ass fumbles, I think we win that game. So 3, Matt Stafford. Number 2, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's not number 1 anymore. I know you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Yes, yeah, I know.
We
The
currently
resident
have no one in the same anywhere. Your top 4 are nowhere.
we're completely off? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just wanted
That's
to let you
weird.
know that.
All right, fair enough. We'll have an interesting conversation about that. Number 2,
Absolutely.
Patrick Mahomes. Still made the Super Bowl. Still dealt with not having a number 1 wide receiver all year and missing Pacheco for like half the fucking season. And they had a crappy offensive line. We saw them get fucking demolished. I think that last play in the Super Bowl where he just gets knocked on his ass by the defense really cemented the fact that that offensive line was trash. But I think they've already made some signings, if I'm not mistaken. I know free agency just started. But they're going to address those problems in the draft. And I think he's going to bounce back, and he'll probably make the Super Bowl again. But yeah, and he also took out Josh Allen in the AFC title game. So I give him the number 2 spot. He's not number 1 anymore. But that's today. Obviously, we're not talking like resumes, because if we talk resumes, it's still Pat number 1. But as far as number 1, I'm going Josh Allen. Josh Allen is number 1.
I knew it.
Yeah, of course he's number 1, man. Okay, look, it's not Josh Allen's fault that his defense is ass. Okay, they constantly get lit up, and they just. It's not his fault. And my one knock on him, and we both agreed, we always talk about this, was the interceptions. Well, guess what? He only had 6 this year, way less than he ever has. He cut down the interceptions, and he won the MVP. He lost to the GOAT. Oh, my bad. Not the GOAT. The future GOAT. The future GOAT. The future GOAT. He lost to the future GOAT. And, I mean, him, Lamar, Joe, everybody be losing to him. Okay? So it's Josh at 1. He won the MVP. I don't knock him for having a shit defense. I think if his defense would have held up, shit, they might have stopped that last drive where they kicked the field goal in the AFC title game. So, you know, again, it's not his fault. He keeps his teams in the game, and he finally learned how to cut down those interceptions and not trying to be Superman all the time. Well, he still kind of is Superman, but at least he is making smarter plays to where he's not throwing interceptions like he has in the past. So 5, Jackson, 4, Hurts, 3, Stafford, 2, Mahomes, and 1, Allen. Go ahead, give me your list. I would assume you have Allen at 1, but if you don't, then I would like to know.
I do not have Allen at 1. I'll tell you that much. However, I do have Allen on my list. That I do have.
I would hope so. The NFL MVP is not on your fucking top 5? What are you talking about?
So, just so you know, Allen made it to my top 5, and we'll start out, since you started at number 5, I'll start at number 5 with Josh Allen.
That's crazy, man. No way.
You know, and here's the thing. Before, you know, and I'm gonna preface this by saying that I wanted to put Joe Burrow in there because he had the most passing yards, and he had one hell of a, you know, touchdown to interception ratio, 43-9. We had 108.5, you know, quarterback rating, and almost 5,000 yards passing. But again, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. My biggest knock is him not making the playoffs. And, you know, had KC beaten the Broncos, they would have made the playoffs, and, you know.
I remember trolling you about that.
But, hey, the Chiefs wanted it. The Chiefs didn't want, you know, they didn't want to face their kryptonite in the playoffs. So they said, let's let the Broncos win, and we can beat the Broncos. I'm just being realistic here. Like I told you at the beginning of the season, I didn't expect much of the Broncos. They made the playoffs. I'm one happy, you know, Bronco fan, so I don't give a shit. Anyway, so we'll go to number 4, and this is why we are not even, because I went more based on stats for the year, and you didn't include Sam Darnold, who had more.
All right, there's no fucking way you're putting him in.
Yes, I'm putting Sam Darnold.
You're just trolling. No, you're clearly trolling on this.
He had 4,319 passing yards, 35 of 12, and 102 passer rating.
I feel like we just switched roles. We completely
switch your roles.
In the beginning of the year, I was the stats guy, and you were the playoff performance guy. Now I'm the playoff performance guy, and you're pulling out stats. You're trolling, bro. Nobody's gonna believe you, bro. You don't actually have Sam. You actually don't have Sam Darnold at 4, do you?
I do have Sam Darnold at 4.
Bro lost so much money in that divisional game.
I'm right here, sir. Oh, you can't.
Did he lose in the wild card? I think he lost in the wild card, right?
He sure
did. Yeah, he did. He lost in the wild card. Bro, explain yourself. Go ahead. I have to ask you. Why?
Dude, in the season, he performed. I mean, I expected his downfall in the fucking playoffs. I didn't expect him to get past the first one, the wild card. It is what it is, because that's when you're facing the real teams.
I'm so curious.
Hey, oh my God. Number 3, I got
9 sacks. 9 sacks. That was Sam Darnold. I just wanted to say that 9 sacks is what he had in that.
48 sacks in the season. I mean, if you really want to go there,
fucking had 9 in one game.
I know. Like,
all right, go ahead. I mean, I don't think you.
The ball.
I don't think you can. Oh, he was holding on to the ball too much. Okay, he had 5. I'm losing my train of thought here. He had. Sorry, you can't. I'm just like, you can't have him at 4 when you got sacked 9 fucking times. Like, let go of the ball, bro. Throw it away. I don't know. He looks scared, bro. You can't be a top 5 QB when you look scared. And I know the Rams are a fucking crazy ass team. I remember freaking trolling Dan Campbell. The Rams ended up taking out the Vikings because Dan Campbell's dumbass decided to say, "I'll see you next week, buddy." Yeah, we'll see you in fucking Cancun, bro. That's where we gonna see you.
That's probably
But anyways, go ahead. Go to your number 3, because I think I said enough about Sam Darnold being there, man. That's crazy.
At number 3, I have Baker Mayfield from Tampa Bay.
No, I'm about to log off,
dude,
bro.
You can log off all you want, but
I'll let you talk, bro.
4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, tied for his first, and with Lamar Jackson, and only 16 interceptions with 106 QB rating. Come on.
Bro, you lost all credibility, bro.
You can
There's
say all
no way
credit,
you
but
can
look at the stats.
all
Like you
credibility. It
say,
doesn't
look at the
matter,
stats.
bro.
Stats will fucking matter.
But they don't tell the whole. I've always said stats don't say the whole thing though. Like,
I mean, is what it is. And at number 2, I have Jared Goff with the Lions, and he went into
Jared Goff at 2. Nah, you're trolling. You're hella trolling now. This is all trolling.
4,629 yards. How is that trolling?
Nah, bro, you're so trolling right now. You can stop, man.
No,
You can stop. It's okay.
dude.
It's okay.
4,609 yards.
You're rage baiting. You're hella rage baiting right now, bro.
He had 111.9
Look, Father Time.
QB rating.
Look, Father Time. Nobody wants to hear about these stats. All of a sudden, like, nah.
And you know who's that? If you know I'm going by his stats, you know who number 1 is, right? It's whoever I started with. Finished at number 1, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson at number 1 with 4,142 yards, 915 rushing yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 119.6 quarterback rating. And he would have won that fucking game had Mark Andrews not dropped that fucking ball, bro. He would have won that game. But no, he dropped the ball. You can say whatever you want.
So then by this logic, then, in the past, Dak Prescott has been the best QB in the league.
No, not even close.
What do you mean? He's had the best numbers time and time again. Like passing yards wise, I mean, he's maybe not exactly the best, but
yeah, but that's garbage time. And again,
so you're saying none of these games are garbage time then, like.
And again, you have to make the playoffs. Because I kept Joe Burrow out, who had 4,900 yards, which is more than all the quarterbacks that I just mentioned.
You had Jalen Hurts as number 4 QB. Where's he now? Preseason, you had him at 4. Did you actually put Hurts? No, you didn't put Hurts.
I didn't put Hurts.
What's that? You had him preseason. You had him at 4.
Correct.
He did not have the best numbers back then. He did not. He had a down year. He was coming off a down year. He actually improved this year. So where's the logic there?
If Hurts was 4, 3,000 passing yards. And granted, it's one of those things where Saquon Barkley was inclusive of this, but I mean, you can't call him the best quarterback.
I'm sure he was top 2 in running yards with in his own running yards. I'm sure he was top 2.
I don't believe so. I don't even think how many
amongst QBs he was probably top 3 with Josh and Lamar. Just thinking about it, there aren't that many running QBs in the league. Like,
well, no, there isn't. But he had 630 rushing yards.
Oh, that's pretty high for a QB, man. I'm pretty sure that's going to be top 3.
I mean, yeah, but with Lamar had 915, he almost had 1,000.
Again, he got bounced in the divisional, man. That matters.
And that is because Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
All right, here we go.
If we caught the ball, he would have won.
It's a team game, bro. Why are we putting Mark Andrews in this position then? You can't point at plays, but in that logic, I could blame Lamar for every single play then. Oh, because I point to a mistake he made. It's the same thing.
You were the one over here saying that Josh Allen could have won as well. Or who was it?
If he had a better defense, yeah, that's an entire defense. You can't put it on one player, man. People like to throw Mark Andrews under the bus, bro. Yeah, he fucked up, but that's not that. You can't put it on a player like that, bro. Like, it's not. It's
he was wide
sport.
open. All he had to do was catch the ball.
I understand that. The same shit happened to Mahomes in the 2020 Super Bowl 21 when they played Tampa Bay. His whole receiving corps was getting drop passes, and the same logic.
He gets all kinds of flags in his favor, so.
All right, here we go. All right, let's move on from that. I'm just saying, like, you can't put it on one player. It should never come down to a play like that, okay?
Sometimes
it's very simple to me.
Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. You have to come through for your team.
If Lamar had played better, maybe he would have won the game. I'm just saying, okay? Made better calls. It wouldn't have come down to such a key play like that, all right? Because if I'm not mistaken, they were struggling the entire game. And again, the Bills' defense sucks, so he should have gotten it done. Like, you should have blown out the Bills if you were that good. I know, I'm tripping on that, but like, I'm just saying, like, by your logic, I just don't like the fact that people like to point to a play and be like, oh, well, if he had just cut the ball, they would have won the game. It's like, no, like, it's a team sport. You don't blame the person down to when it comes down to the wire. It's a whole team game. It's faulty logic, and I hate when people do it. Even if it is just as simple as if he had just caught the ball, it's like then trade his ass, kick him off the team. I don't care. I really don't. I'm not trying to be an apologist here. I'm just saying it's such a dumb argument.
He's probably not going to
Because
be with the team next year.
it's a team game, man. It's a team game. But anyways, I don't know. The fact that most of these guys aren't. We have one guy in comp. No, two guys, because you have
Just
Jackson and you didn't put Josh Allen on. You didn't put Josh Allen
Oh
on the
yeah,
team.
just
On
Josh Allen at number 5.
Yeah, so we have two of the same guys. You don't have Mahomes. You don't have Stafford. You don't have Hurts.
No, I did not have Mahomes.
You just have
Someone that
gassed
gets
up
first downs on a
QBs.
bunch of flags.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
You have a bunch of QBs that put up numbers when it doesn't matter. That's essentially what you agreed with. Okay, I mean you're on bullshit. I have to tell you that.
Hey, you can say whatever
It's
you
so
want.
weird. It's so weird that you have completely 180. Your standards flip flop all over the time.
Nah.
Yes, they do.
I do want to say that I do want to give a shout out to two of the rookie quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, because they did one hell of a fucking job. Bo Nix started his first 3 games, no touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He finished the year with 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Jaden Daniels had 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Both did phenomenal job. You know, Bo Nix made me excited for Denver Bronco football, and Jaden Daniels made me excited for freaking just to watch the Commanders, because he would light up these defenses throwing long balls and doing some crazy ass shit. And now with Debo Samuel included, I don't know what's gonna happen next year, man. They can compete. I mean,
Right.
granted, I think they'll still, a year or 2 out, but I mean, they're a much better team. So shout out
Yeah.
to those 2 quarterbacks, because I mean, I think they're the future of the NFL, and I'm just hoping, in like 4 years, they're not throwing flags for Bo Nix for him to get first downs, because then I'll be eating my words about the whole. It's like, oh fuck, now they're
Yeah.
doing it for this guy. Like, no.
Right.
So
All right. That's fair. That's valid. My honorable mention is Joe Burrow. That's what I really wanted to
Yeah.
say. Because he did miss the playoffs, but he was the reason they even had a shot. They were doing terrible, and then he gave them a shot. Man, it's just
He did.
tiebreakers that led to the Broncos getting eliminated. So, but hey, that's life. That's the game. But yeah, I'm good. Are you good? As far as
I am good,
So-
sir.
it's almost bedtime, sir.
Sir.
We got to go to work. So, anyways, that's been the show. I didn't really see the need to do it. We don't even have that many subscribers yet. So,
And those
far
who
as, like,
subscribe
as
know
far
who
as-
we are.
yeah, I was gonna say this was episode 17,
17.
I think. Y'all know who we are. So, at some point when we get 100 subscribers, maybe we'll start intros again. We're like, yeah, my name's this. Nobody gives a shit unless we have more subscribers. So, but yeah, because we're climbing slowly. We're almost at 40. So,
Yes, sir.
hey, slowly but surely we'll get there. But go ahead and sign us off, Silos. That
All
I
right,
do want
like
to keep.
always, I just want to thank the military men and women out there that make this country great. And this is CeeLo's. It's been episode 17. Peace out.
All right, peace out, yo.